Hi, grade 10s. This morning I'm presenting to you from my daughter's bedroom. I've ran out of chart paper, so I'm using her bedroom because she has a blackboard in her bedroom. So this morning, alongside all her Lego and her fish, we're going to learn about finding angles. So far in our trigonometry unit, every time we've had a trigonometry question, we have known the angle, we've known the reference angle, and we've known a side length. In that last question, we knew that the reference angle was 25 degrees and we knew that one of the sides was 10. Today, however, we're going to look at a triangle where we don't know the size of the reference angle. We just know two side lengths, no angles. We just know the two side lengths. This is the question we're going to try. We see that it's a right angle triangle. You can't do trigonometry in grade 10 unless you have a right angle triangle. Right here, that's the right angle triangle. We see the reference angle. I'm going to make the reference angle into a dress. Here is my little girl. So over here, this is my O. I know that this over here would be the H. That means the only other side left over is my A. Now, the rule I'm going to use is I'm going to use tan, oops, that's not what I want, tan angle A, my reference angle. Tan of the reference angle is going to be O over A. So tan of the reference angle is going to be 10 over 5. Now, that is different from any question we've done so far this unit because we always typically know the reference angle. And over here, one of these, either the O or the A, is the X because we are missing one side. This time, we do know two sides. I'm going to show you a picture of a calculator, and I'm going to teach you something you need to do with your calculator anytime you want to find a reference angle. When you want to find a reference angle, you can't just push the tan button. You need to press second or shift before you press the tan button. The reason you want to press the second button or the shift button before you do tan is because you want to do the opposite of tan in order to move tan from this side to this side. Anytime we're doing algebra, if there's multiplication on one side, if we move it to the other side, we do division. If there's adding on one side, the opposite of adding is subtracting on the other side. So we have tan, and what we want is we want the opposite of tan, and the opposite of tan is tan inverse with that little -1. And the only way you can get that on your calculator is if you press shift or second function before you press the tan button. So let's go back to my question. Over here, I want to find the reference angle. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the size of the little girl's dress. What I need to do is I want to get rid of this tan. The way you get rid of tan is by doing tan inverse next to it. But if you do tan inverse on this side, you need to do tan inverse on the other side as well. These two are going to cancel out. I have just A left over, so that means I have the reference angle. And depending on your calculator, you might need to do 10 divided by 5 and then tan inverse, or you might need to do tan inverse and then 10 divided by 5. So I'm going to, with my calculator, find out what tan inverse is. 10 divided by 5 is 2. What is tan inverse of 10 divided by 2? And I'm going to show you how to do that on a cell phone because I'm sure most of you are using a cell phone at home rather than a calculator. When I use my cell phone, I press second and then tan and 2, I got the answer 63 degrees. You might need to press 2 and then second tan, depending on the calculator, but the answer you should get is 63 degrees. That means, let's look at our picture of the problem. That means that in this question here, if the opposite is 10 and the adjacent is 5, that means the reference angle, the angle where the dress is, needs to be 63 degrees. I'm going to erase my daughter's blackboard and we're going to try another question together. Our next question says that tan of the reference angle is 0.5. Now that looks a little confusing because I only have one number on the right-hand side, not a fraction. But we know that there are lots of numbers we could divide to get 0.5. For example, tan of reference angle, let's say 3 over 6. 3 over 6 would give you 0.5. Or maybe it's 5 over 10. Or maybe it's 2 over 4. It doesn't matter what the O and the A is, as long as it gives you 0.5. So I'm going to draw my triangle with a 3 and a 6. Okay, this time, just to mix things up, I'm going to put my reference angle up here. If this is my reference angle, it's going to change where my O and my A are located. So first of all, I'm going to put my H in. My H is always in the same place, the hypotenuse. Okay, my O, if this is the dress or the reference angle, this is going to be the O, and this is going to be the A. Okay, let's not forget that the rule says that the tan ratio or tan fraction is O over A. That means the 3 is the O and the 6 is the A. So the 3 is the O and the 6 is the A. So this is another question where I know two sides. The part I don't know is I don't know the reference angle. And anytime you don't know the reference angle, you're going to need to use this trick over here, where you have to use the inverse of tan. My question is tan reference angle is equal to 3 over 6. So that means that tan of the reference angle is equal to 0.5. And we know that if I want to move this tan away from the A so I can find out what the reference angle is, I need to do tan inverse on both sides. So these tans cancel out, and I'm left with just the reference angle. And to find the reference angle, I need to do tan inverse or tan -1 of 0.5, and I'll do that right now. Your job is to complete the chart that's in the booklet. Now, it's actually super simple. What you want to do in each case is you want to find out what the reference angle is. You know what the fraction is. You know what the O divided by A is. That means you know two sides. The part you don't know is the reference angle. And anytime you want to find a reference angle, all you need to do is you need to do tan inverse on both sides. The tans cancel out, the tan and the tan inverse. My reference angle would just be tan inverse of 0.3456. We're going to try one word problem together where you need to find an angle if you are given two sides. We're going to do it that one together, and then I'm going to leave you with one to try on your own that you can email me, and I will get back to you letting you know if you did it correctly. So let's look at the question, the one we're going to do together. This question is talking about a helicopter ambulance, and it says that the helicopter ambulance goes 20 kilometers north and 5 kilometers east. We also know it's a trigonometry question, and anytime you have a trigonometry question, you need to draw a right angle triangle. And in this case, you need to draw a right angle triangle that goes north and then east. So my helicopter starts here, goes north, oops, I broke my chalk, and then it goes east. This is my right angle, goes like this, and I know it goes 20 kilometers north and then 5 kilometers east. I have that. Now, I want to figure out which angle is the reference angle. So let's go back and look at the question. This question is asking which direction must the helicopter head? In which direction must the helicopter go? So that means we're looking for this angle right here. And I want to label it HOA. So first H, the hypotenuse. The O, if this is the dress, this over here would be the O, and this over here is the A. I know I want to use the tangent ratio, so I'm going to write down tan of this time, it's angle H for the helicopter, is O over A. So it's going to be 5 over 20. And 5 over 20, if I wanted to change that to a decimal, 5 over 20 is going to be 0.25. I'm looking for what the reference angle is. Anytime you're looking for the reference angle, you need to use second tan. So I want to do tan -1 on this side and tan -1 over here. These two are going to cancel out. And I have left that the helicopter angle is tan -1 of 0.25. And I'll do that right now with my calculator. So the direction that that helicopter needs to go in is going to be 14 degrees. I'm going to leave you with one last question where I give you two sides and you need to find the reference angle. I would love for you to try it and send me your answers and I will check them for you. And then tomorrow I'll meet you again.